Morning, everyone. It's so lovely to have you here today. Thank you all so much for taking the time. I can see Angela already saying, what a wake up. And yes, that song is ridiculous, but it's so good in the best way. I've already seen people joining in from India, from Spain, Cambridge, Huddersfield, Norwich. And if you haven't already popped in the chat feature where you're watching from, then please do right now, because it would be so lovely to know where you're watching from. We've got Amelia in Scotland, Manchester, Airdrie, Switzerland, Manchester again. It's wicked to have you. Thank you all so much for taking the time. I've missed this. I've missed it a lot, actually. Today's guests are Andrew and Pete, founders of Atomic, the community for small business owners, and also the runners of Atomicon, which will be going down on the 13th of June. And the TMM community are invited. TMM will be actually sponsoring, which is pretty amazing. And we also have a 20% discount code. It's going to be wicked. You should definitely check out Atomicon. Today is a presentation and then a Q&A. So do get your questions in nice and early using the chat feature found down below using the toolbar. This week's featured sponsor is Storyblock. Storyblock are the CMS that you want to go to if you want to be thinking about sort of actually getting a real return on your activity from your CMS. And the reason why I say that is that, like, so often, well, I'm speaking from personal experience, you'd pop into a CMS decision and you would go, oh yeah, I'm just going to pick that one and off we go. Actually, Storyblock have recently commissioned a study which found that actually if you pick them, then you get many times ROI based on that decision alone, which is really interesting. Never really thought about it. So do take the time to check out Storyblock. Also, big thank you to Impression, Cambridge Martin College, Redgate, and Brand Recruitment. You guys brought the energy this morning, which is just incredible. Got a big old smile on my face. So now let me hand over to the fabulous, the wicked, the excellent Andrew and Pete. It's over to you. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate having you here. We're so excited, and let us know in the comments who's ready to make more sales from the content and funnels that you are creating. Woo!
Because today we're going to show you how to build a sales funnel that will convert better than anything that you have ever done before. A funnel that can be triggered by social or by content or by ads or whatever. And Pete, you know, I've got a really good feeling about this one.
Oh yeah?
Yes. In fact, today, guys, we're going to show you how to build the perfect funnel in just 30 minutes.
Whoa! Joe, can I get an ooh?
This was the part of saying, ooh.
Yes.
There we go. You know what, Pete? You know what? Actually, I feel like overachieving today. I feel like overachieving. I think 30 minutes is a bit long. Yeah. I mean, no one's getting any younger, you know, especially you, my friend. I think we could do this in 5 minutes.
Joe, can I get an ooh-ee?
Ooh-ee.
Yes. Wait. Can I get an ooh-ee? Ooh-ah, ting-tang, walla, bing bang.
You guys, this is going to be recorded. Ooh-ee, ooh-ah, walla, ting-tang. Oh,
all right, guys, Pete, please, come on, like, stop wasting my time. Right, perfect funnel in 5 minutes. Right, let's do this. And Pete, to prove we're doing this live, can you give me a random industry, just any random industry that I wouldn't have even been able to prepare for?
Okay, disposable paper cup marketing.
Perfect. Online piano lessons. Great choice there, Pete. Great choice. Okay, guys, let's build a funnel completely live. So first step in a funnel, we need to create some awareness, yeah? So for online piano lessons, I know, how about we do like Facebook Live videos that are super helpful? It should tie in with the end product. So how about like beginner 101 piano lessons? That sounds good, right?
Okay, yeah. I mean, is that what people want?
Yeah, I mean, it's what people want, and we can use the Facebook advertising platform to get in front of more people and build a custom audience of people that have watched maybe like 50% of that video.
Okay, I guess.
Okay, so next step, we need to move people that have watched 50% of this video down the funnel. So what we're going to do is we're going to send another ad to these people to get them to download a lead magnet to get them on our email list. Now, lead magnets need to show some kind of buyer intent. We only want people that are actually serious about like buying this thing. So how about some kind of printable code layout that goes over the keys, that tells you what all the keys are and what fingers to use? Sounds good?
I guess, is that what people want though?
Well, it's definitely what they need. It's definitely what they need, right? And like the next step is we're going to invite them to their first ever piano lesson completely for free. We can maybe do some kind of evergreen like webinar or training, get them onto that, right?
I guess. Do you think that's going to work though?
Yeah, it's going to work because on this webinar, we're going to pitch their face off, right? We're going to pitch their face off. We're going to tell them that it's like $9.99 a month. You get unlimited lessons, that kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And at the end of that training, we're going to handle all their objections. We're going to tell them how much they spend on Starbucks every month and how this is like a complete no-brainer to come and join our membership. We could even maybe do like some kind of first month half price offer just to like get them over the line. That sounds good, right?
Right.
And then out of the bottom comes sweet, sweet money. What do you think?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, right. This is it, right? This is the perfect funnel. We need that awareness building content to build that audience. We need that lead generating content to move our audience into a sales conversation. We need that sales conversion content, and we need that objection handling content. And guys, with 30 seconds left to spare, that is the perfect funnel in just 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hang on, pal. Stay there. Don't leave. Don't leave. Hang on, pal.
What?
Well, I'm not too sure if that is the end.
What do you mean?
I'm not sure if that is the perfect funnel.
No, like this is the perfect funnel. Look, we've got awareness, we've got lead gen, we've got objection handling content, we've got sales conversion content. Like Pete, it's up there on the screen already. We've made the slides. Please don't embarrass me.
I know, I'm sorry, but I feel like this just isn't going to work yet.
No, really, I think that was fine, guys. Guys, in the comments, do we not think that was like fine? That was like a great funnel, 5 minutes, done.
I mean, I'm just not sure. I mean, it sounds good, on the face of it, but I just guess, going back to the funnel that we just made, like, how do we know that it's going to work?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it feels like we've just guessed it.
No, that's a completely logical funnel, Pete. We didn't guess it. I mean, I'm pretty smart. That's a completely logical funnel.
I mean, you are quite smart, pal.
Yeah.
And handsome. But any one of these sections just might not work. Like, there's a million different combinations. Like, how can we say for sure what's definitely going to work? Maybe the Facebook isn't the best place. Maybe we should be on Instagram, or maybe we should be targeting people on TikTok who want to play the favorite pop song of the week.
I mean, I guess.
Maybe people don't even care about a printable layout. Maybe they don't even have a printer. Like, I don't have a printer.
I mean, I guess.
And maybe they're not interested in a free lesson. Like, maybe the biggest objection isn't actually price. And maybe there's the bigger objection of the fact that there's 1,000 million different videos for free on YouTube.
Well, yeah, I guess.
So why should they do your course? You guess.
I guess.
Right? You guess. And that's the problem with funnels.
Huh.
We're all just building our funnels based on hope and guesswork. And then we're spending months just automating the whole thing and building this crazy funnel that just doesn't even work. Am I right? Remember all the funnels that we used to build when we first launched our Atomic membership? By the way, if you don't know what Atomic is, it's our brand that we founded. It's for amazing business owners, ambitious business owners and marketers who want to scale up. And the membership was our community. And we tried everything to sell Atomic membership. And we started with a simple funnel, you remember? We started with a simple funnel, and then we added in a webinar. We added in like a tripwire. We're told to do that. We added in some more automations. We put in 3 more lead magnets. We inverted the funnel. We added in a few more arrows. We turned it around, shook it up. We turned it blue. And did it work, Andrew?
No, Pete, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I mean, at least not very well.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, not great. It didn't make me feel good at all. I mean, we wasted our time, we wasted our budget. Like, and even worse, I felt pretty rubbish about our product. I mean, did no one want it? Was Atomic rubbish? Were we rubbish?
Was Andrew just rubbish? It turns out when a funnel doesn't work, it does all that, but it also destroys your confidence. And without confidence in our products and our services and ourselves, we'll never be able to fully push and be proactive and sell our services and grow to our full potential. And I don't think it worked, these funnels, because we were just guessing what we thought people would want and what we thought would work to get them over the line. And that guesswork has a hugely detrimental knock-on effect a crappy funnel that doesn't work is not only a waste of time, not only a waste of effort and money, but actually it's doing a massive detriment to our confidence and our business. In fact, we see this all the time when people first join our membership community in Atomic. They have something that isn't selling as quickly as they want. And because of that, it ruins their confidence and they stop growing, they stop pushing, they stop being proactive. And we call this a confidence plateau, where we don't have the confidence to do what we need to do in our business to sell more. And our growth just stalls. So back to us. We felt rubbish when the Atomic membership wasn't growing as quickly as we wanted to do. So what did we do about it, Andrew?
Well, we probably did everything other than like try to fix the real problem. We just did a bunch of other stuff, right? We went after more brand deals. We wrote another book. We started a podcast. We chased after more speaking gigs. We moved house. Pete joined the circus. And we did everything then actually deal with the real problem. We essentially just put our heads in the sand.
And this is the big problem. Here's the thing. All the things that are going to have the biggest impact on your business are the hardest and the scariest things to do. For example, raising our price, niching down more, outsourcing more, creating more remarkable content, positioning ourselves better, being proactive with sales, reaching out to influence. It's all really, really difficult, hard stuff that you've never done before. You might get rejected. It might fail. It might not work. You might waste money. Whatever it is for you, often the biggest, most impactful thing that you can possibly do is the thing that is the scariest and the thing that you are most fearful of. And so what we tend to do is procrastinate on those things. And if we don't have the confidence but to push ourselves and push past that, then our business is going to stall and it's going to plateau. So going back to this funnel, guesstimating and automating, which is a great phrase, is not only terrible for business, but it's given us a confidence plateau.
You're right, Pete, you know, like I get what you're saying. If we base our funnels and our sales just on guesswork, if we guesstimate and automate, it's going to do three things. Like one, it's not going to work out very well. No one wants that. Two, it leads to a drop in confidence in our products and our marketing. And three, our business and marketing is going to plateau because we put off those high impact tasks. So what did we do then, Pete? How did we stop guesstimating?
Well, first of all, we got really, really frustrated, naturally. But then we tried to figure out how to remove the guesswork. And so we did an experiment. We challenged ourselves and we started to call people up on the phone. And if you're really young, if you don't know what that is, like you can actually use your phone to like call people, which is awesome. And we looked at people on our email list and we tried to sell to them on the phone. And we started to find out all the reasons that they weren't buying. And it was pretty brutal. And we were trying to test all the ways that could convince them to buy and try to close them on the phone. And this was really tough. So the very first phone call that I did, I got a no. The second call that I did, I also got a no. And then I got another no, and another no, and another no, and another no. And then I got another no.
Until eventually, one by one, we started to learn what they really wanted, what their objections were, and how to close them.
Yes. So finally, I got a yes. And then we got another yes. And then we got a few more no's. And then we got a yes. And the very first 30 calls that I did were very hit and miss. But then the next 30 calls, so 30 to 60, I had 100% sign-up rate on those calls. 100% of the people I called signed up. We then eventually went on to call over 100 people. And we started to put what we learned, not just from those calls to more calls, but we started to put that into our sales messages, our content, our funnels, our sales pages. And to our surprise and delight, it really, really worked. We were getting better results than we'd ever had before because we were no longer guessing what would work. We were taking real sales conversations that had worked in getting people over the line in one call, in one interaction, and replicating that into our funnels. We were using what worked in real sales calls to make our content and funnels work based on real successes.
And after doing all of that, in 12 months, we had quadrupled our membership.
And how did that make us feel, Andrew?
I mean, pretty damn good. Like, we felt great. It's the most confident we'd ever felt about Atomic. And that's helped us push it more and get more members and break through more of our confidence plateaus.
Yes, Andrew. Woohoo! And this is the key. You can't build the perfect funnel based on guesswork. All that's going to do is ruin your confidence and waste you a ton of time and money and give you something that just doesn't work. And the only way to remove that guesswork is to validate every single step of the funnel. And the best way to do that is to have actual real conversations. Like actually going out there and having sales conversations with potential prospects, trying to get them over the line on the phone, rather than sending out a survey, and we'll explain why, and figuring out one by one what it takes to get them over the line. So that eventually you can put all that information that you learn, all the objection handling, all the validation, all the wants, all of their needs, their desires, the phrasing, the wording that they use, you can build something that actually works, that you've validated with real sales.
Right. So if we want to build the perfect funnel for, hang on, we need a good name for this business. What's a good name for a piano lesson company?
Oh, okay, I got it. How about Pete's Piano Lessons?
Yeah, Dave's Piano Lessons. Good one, Pete. Good one, Pete. So what we're saying is, if we want to build the perfect funnel for Dave to sell his online piano lessons, rather than guesstimating and automating, we need to start having conversations to build automations. There we go, Pete. The perfect funnel in just 15 minutes.
But,
thank you. Bye.
Wait. No. Stop bowing. That's not the end. I don't think it works though.
No, Pete. No. Like that's it. That's great. The perfect funnel in 15 minutes. Overachieve. Come on, let's go to the pub.
No, hang on, guys. I think there's a little bit more to this.
What? Well, what?
Like, it's all well and good having these conversations to build automations, but I feel like we need to understand what we need to learn from having these conversations specifically, so people know what to do.
What do you mean?
Well, let's have a look at those 100 polls for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What were we trying to actually find out? And what should everyone try to find out to build a better funnel?
Okay. Well, I think especially just like looking at the top of this funnel, at that audience building content, I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that we were making and we see other people make. Like, we just presumed that we knew our audience and could give them what they need. But like what the phone calls did is that we got to hear exactly what they wanted in their own words. And surprisingly, it wasn't always what they needed. And I think we're told to be helpful and like give value with our content. And so we're often so close to our products and how awesome we are that we try to give our audience what we know that they need rather than what they actually want.
Absolutely. Some of the things that we were talking about at that time in our career was how to be better content marketers, how to do better content marketing, how to be more remarkable with our content and stand out, which when you're doing content marketing is something that you really need to do. It's what they need, right? But what we discovered was that it wasn't exactly what people wanted. On the calls we had, we found out what people really wanted in their own words. And it was things like, I want to launch a course or a scalable product. We want to build funnels that actually work, hence this talk. We want to work less, but earn more. We want to stop being so overwhelmed. We want to make more money. So our message of, hey, we can help you to stand out and create more remarkable content was not working because it was basically selling overwhelm and hard work. It was selling things that they didn't actually want. They didn't even want to put their faces on their website, never mind to stand out. They don't want to blog. They don't have time for content. Like, they just want to make some more money because they're desperate to get more sales.
And you know what, Pete? It's a little bit like this talk too, right? It's called Unstoppable Sales. Like, and I'm assuming that you chose to attend this webinar because like you want more sales. If we were to have called it, we had 100 telephone conversations and you should too, like maybe it wouldn't have been as popular. There wouldn't have been as many people here right now.
I wouldn't have even turned up. And to find out what people want, we can't just guess. The best way to find out what your audience wants deep down is, guess what? To call them.
And you know what? This kind of reminds me of one of our members who fell into this trap. Let us tell you about Mark Deeks.
It looks like he's playing the piano.
He is actually playing the piano. He is. Believe it or not, Mark Deeks does actually sell online piano lessons, just like Dave, exactly like Dave. The problem is Mark just guessed what his audience wanted. He thought that they all wanted to be amazing piano players, and he called his membership Piano Legends. And so when he launched his membership, he was hitting his head against the wall at the lack of sales. Like no one was buying into this.
We told Mark to go call some people and try sell it to them. And at first he was reluctant to do this, and his confidence plateau was holding him back. He was afraid of doing it. But eventually he got fed up with no sales, and with us constantly nudging him and giving him encouragement, he did what he needed to do. He started calling people. And by the way, you don't need to call 100 people, but he started to call a few people. And after a few calls, he realized that his guesswork wasn't so hot after all. In fact, his audience didn't care too much about being as good as Elton John. They just wanted to take up a hobby. They were in business, maybe they're a business person in a busy job maybe, and they just wanted to take up a hobby and wind down in the evenings and weekends.
Yes, like essentially he'd fundamentally just got his whole messaging wrong at a foundational level. And no matter how much money or effort or clever sales funnels tactics he was going to plow into this, his funnel was always going to be destined to fail. But thankfully he had that encouragement to overcome that confidence plateau and actually go and make those calls. And in his very next few calls, he was able to use this new information that he learned to convert those people into paying members.
Woohoo! And making those sales on the call gave him the injection of confidence to push his membership even more with his new and improved messaging. In fact, in the first month of doing this, he had a 52% increase in his membership, and he converted over 17% of his email list into paying customers pretty much instantly. So, guys, Andrew, this is what we need to do. We need to validate people's wants rather than shoving in people's face what we think they need.
Yes. You know what, Pete? I love that. I love that. Validate the wants. Validate the wants. By validating the wants, we stop guessing, because I feel like we all know what our audience wants and what's important, but what are we actually basing that on? Is that just guesswork? And this is applicable across industries. Like, for example, Pete, give me another random industry
Another
random industry that people watching might work in.
I don't know. Feta cheese marketing.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Did you say marketing for college admissions?
No, I said marketing.
Yeah, okay. Marketing for college admissions. Great. Okay, so we want more students to enroll. So we might base our content around what we think a student needs, right? Like they might need like the best teachers or the best job opportunities. But what do they actually want? I don't know. Maybe they want the best clubs on campus. Maybe they want the best accommodation. Maybe they want to just feel safe. The point is, we don't know that until we find the data, until we validate the wants and start market. And until we start marketing on what people actually want, we are just guessing. So what we're saying is then, Pete, to create this perfect funnel for Dave, we must stop guesstimating and automating, start having conversations to build automations, to validate what people actually want. And okay, Pete, that is the perfect funnel in just 20 minutes, the end.
Hang on, pal. Hang on. Stop bowing. Stop bowing.
No.
That's not.
I
think there's more. I think there's more.
That's the end, Pete.
Put it back on screen for a second. I still don't think this is going to work.
No, but really, Pete, look, I wanted to get this done in 5 minutes, and now we're at like 20.
I know, like, this is great so far. This is awesome. But how did we get over people's objections? Like, it's all well and good knowing what they want, but there's always going to be objections to buying. So how did we overcome those objections?
Well, okay. Well, again, I think it's something that we think that we all know, don't we, guys? Like, we think we know what the objections to buying from us are. And it's the common ones that probably come up all the time, you know, like we've heard them. It's too expensive. I don't have time for that. I don't need that. I'm using someone else for that. I'm washing my hair. And all of these objections, these are the ones where if we just try guess the answer, we just try guessing what is the answer to these objections, that's when objection handling just never works and we fail and our confidence is crushed and it's awful.
But we don't want to guesstimate anymore, right?
Exactly. You know what? And that was the beauty of doing these calls, right? When we actually did these calls, if it was an email or a survey or someone just like replied like, I don't have time for that, that would have been the end of the conversation, right? But that's not the real reason. Like, I don't have time for that is not the real reason for them not buying. Like, why don't they have enough time? We need to dig a bit deeper. And that's exactly what the calls allowed us to do.
Yes, this is why the calls are the best. Because if you ask why, you get that opportunity to hear that person's voice tell you exactly what's going on. And you can uncover the deeper underlying reasons for that objection. And this is something that we can then overcome.
Yes, like, for example, we kept on getting this objection.
I don't have time to join your membership.
And all we needed to ask is the simple magic question. Why do you think that is? And one of the responses we kept hearing was,
I'm too busy doing client work for my clients.
And again, we asked them, why do you think this is? And they replied,
because I need to do client work to pay my bills.
And when we asked them, well, when was the last time you put your prices up? They replied, never. And that is the real objection uncovered. They didn't want to join, not because they didn't have time. They didn't want to join because they are too busy doing low paid work. So they have to work all the hours of the week just to make ends meet. And that's a much easier objection to overcome. That's a much easier objection to overcome. To that one, we can go back and we can say, like, hey, do you want to get better paying clients so you can do less work and make more money and thus have more time? Because that's one of the first things we teach you on Atomic. Would you like to know more about how we do that?
Boom, now we're in a conversation. And that's just one example. With every single phone call that we were doing, we were digging deeper and discovering new underlying reasons for the objections, writing them down, finding patterns, and trying to figure out ways to overcome them. After a while, we started to preempt those objections and handle them in the next conversation before they even started to come up. And once we knew that it worked time and time again to get people to buy, we could handle those objections in our funnels, our sales pages, and in our content.
Yes. I've actually got another great example of this, Pete, in action.
Oh, yeah?
This is Tony Priddy, and she is the founder of First for Maths. Now, First for Maths is a company that helps schools get better grades for their students by teaching the teachers how to teach maths better. Got it? She teaches the teachers how to teach maths better. Now, First for Maths had just introduced a new deeper level maths book that was full of different lesson plans, and they were really struggling to sell them. And rather than getting on the phone, she fell into the trap of just guessing why these books weren't selling and presuming that price was the main issue.
So what she was about to do was to just slash and discount the prices, thinking that was the best way to overcome those objections. But instead, she decided to take the brave route, overcome that confidence plateau, and give it a go and actually call someone who hadn't bought the books and find out why.
On her very first call, she heard an objection that she never even thought of, and it totally threw her. Turns out it had nothing to do with the price. The objection was that the teacher was concerned that there weren't enough kids at that greater level to warrant buying the new product.
At first glance, she could have just given up as well, but digging deeper, Tony again asked the magic question, which is, why do you think that is?
And the teacher replied,
because I'm so overwhelmed with the current lesson plans I'm putting together, and because getting them to that level quicker.
And now, guys, we're getting somewhere. This is an objection that Tony can actually deal with. Because when we hear an objection, we've got kind of three options. We can say, one, this isn't for you. We can say, two, we can explain our product better if it already does solve the objection. Or 3, we can try and improve our product to solve that objection. So what can Tony actually do in this case? She can give up. She can say, sorry, this isn't right for you. She can, number 2, explain her product better, explaining that her lesson plans are much more efficient and it will help that teacher overcome that deeper issue. Or 3, she can maybe improve her product. Maybe she can include a bonus lesson planner that's going to help that whole process be more efficient to get the kids up to that level quicker.
So as you can see, once you get to the deeper problem, all of a sudden you have something to work with and you can do something about it. If this was just a survey, you couldn't do that, right? You can't get to the deeper issues. So once you've done this, then you can start to create content on this. Let's go back to Mark Deeks. In one of the calls Mark did with a lady, she told him his membership was too expensive. But he was on the call, so he could ask the magic question, why do you think that is? And it turns out there was 2 main reasons. Number 1, she was comparing his membership to a lovely old lady piano teacher who used to come round to the house for £5 a month. And number 2, the lady just wanted to learn how to play a single song and buy the sheet music for that one song.
Yes. And knowing this, Mark can start to handle these underlying reasons for the objections. He started positioning his membership as a hands-on place to learn piano, where other piano lessons are kind of do it by yourself. Mark gets you to record yourself and he gives you personalized feedback, very similar to what that old lady would have done when she came around to your house. And 2, if you want to learn a single song, that could cost you anywhere from like £5 to £10 to buy the sheet music. In Mark's membership, you can not only get new sheet music each month, but trainings on how to play it. And not only does he now know this, but he can start using it in his content.
In fact, literally that night after the call, he did a Facebook Live into his Facebook group and got an extra 5 members over the edge and to join his membership just by handling those objections head on. Straight away, he was able to use that with immediate value. So this is what we need to be doing on our calls. We need to find the underlying reasons for the objection by asking the magic question, why do you think this is? And then try different ways of overcoming that objection by either explaining it better or improving your product until there's no objections left you can't handle. Or 3, handle objections in your content proactively before it even becomes an issue in the first place.
Yes. Oh, Pete, you know what? This is great.
Ooh.
This is great. This is making sense now. What we're saying is people want to start building a funnel and start selling their things to like thousands of people. And what we do is we have this habit of overcoming just that top level objections, like saying things like, it's not really that expensive when you compare it to like how many Starbucks you have, or try to shove a limited time discount down someone's throat in the hope that it will persuade them to buy. But here's the thing. You're never going to sell your thing to 1,000 people if you can't sell it to one person, one-to-one, consistently, every time.
Ooh.
So back to Dave, Pete. Back to Dave. To create the perfect funnel, what we're saying is we need to stop guesstimating and automating, start having conversations to build automations, to validate what people actually want, and overcome the deeper objections. That's the perfect funnel in 20. Okay, no, more like 31 minutes. The end.
Or is it?
No, Pete.
I'm not sure.
This is the end.
And there might be one more thing.
No, look, Pete, I wanted to build the perfect funnel in 5 minutes for all these awesome people that have showed up today. And now we're at like 30 minutes in and you're still telling me that this isn't perfect. Like, I just wanted to do the perfect funnel really quickly and then go to the pub.
And I know what's wrong with it. Repeat that last bit again.
What, the pub? I wanted to go to the pub?
No, not that bit.
I said I just wanted to create the perfect funnel in 30 minutes and teach all these awesome people how to create content that's going to get them more sales.
Right, that's it. That's the last thing we learn.
What's that?
We all want to build the perfect funnel, don't we? Don't we, guys? We all want to create that right now. We want it to happen right now. We want our products, our services to sell fast. We want our funnel to work. We want our content to work. We want it to happen now, today. And we think that we can just put together and guesstimate this perfect funnel in like 30 minutes and then like map it out and then like go automate it all. And what we end up doing is just rushing it and guessing all the important parts and putting our heads in the sand and just hoping that it works because we feel like it needs to. And I think what we actually need to do is slow down.
What? Slow down. Slow down. Like, Pete, I don't know about you, but I'm not flush for time. Like, who's just sat around here all day, like doing nothing, you know, other than Dave playing on his piano? Like, and actually, like looking at this perfect funnel, like this is going to take us a lot of time. You want us to validate the wants, overcome the deeper objections. You want us to call people. Like, this is all pretty time consuming, is it not? Can we not just buy a course and get all the hacks on how to do this quicker? Like, I want to go quicker.
I know, but Andrew, don't you see? You're the one going the slowest.
What? I do not think so. Slowest. I've been trying to go faster. I've been trying to get this done, get this out there, get this launched for Dave.
But that's the point, though. You see, what we've all been doing is just trying to build out the funnel as fast as possible, not realizing that all we're doing is just building a leaky bucket. No matter how fast we work, the funnel will not. And just throwing more ads to get more traffic at it is just an inefficient and expensive solution that doesn't solve the real problem with the funnel. By trying to go faster, you're just going slower. We need to go slower to go faster.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying we need to go slow to go fast. Like, because if you think about it, that's what we did. Like, go back to those calls we made. Yeah, it took us a long time. Like, we spent a good 3 months, and we'll give you like a hack for that at the very end, so keep watching. But we spent a good 3 months figuring out how to get people on the phone, calling them up, figuring out their objections, calling them back even, and working out how to get people over the line. But it was the best 3 months that we ever spent, because that's enabled to do us to do much better marketing, create better products, create webinars that convert better, build a sales process that at the beginning might have started off slow, but now we can scale it up to go fast, and not just fast, but faster than ever before to get sales. And Mark, like take Mark, for example, he launched his piano membership but he rushed it. He tried to build this funnel too fast. And by slowing down, he started to learn how to sell his membership better. Tony was rushing her decision-making with how to sell, and she was going to discount and slash her prices. But now she knows how to sell it better, how to improve the product, how to overcome those deeper objections. We need to go slow to go fast.
You know what, Pete? It pains me to say this, but I think you're right. Like all this time I've been trying to go faster, and it's actually been slowing us down. Guesstimating, then automating, it just doesn't work. And I feel like we do it because we want to hit those sales targets that we've either set for ourselves or someone else has set for us. But instead, what we end up doing is just crushing our own confidence, like when we don't hit those targets because we've just guessed it. And ultimately, this causes our business and our marketing to just plateau.
So, you positively lovely people, you have a decision to make now. Are you going to keep putting your heads in the sand and hoping and guesstimating what you think will work? Or are you going to break through that confidence plateau? Are you going to start calling some of your customers to find out what they actually want, not just what you think they need? Are you going to figure out how to handle any objection that someone might throw at you so you can get a sale every single time? Are you going to slow down so that you can take the time to learn what works before scaling up and automating the whole thing to go immediately faster than you ever thought was possible to get more sales? Who is with us? Let us know in the comments. Are you going to have more conversations to build automations that work? Are you going to slow down to speed up? Are you going to get more sales than ever before? Because if you want to build the perfect funnel, we must stop guesstimating and automating. Instead, we must start having conversations to build automations, validating what people really want so that we can overcome the deeper objections, and slowing down so that we can speed up. Thank you. The actual end.
That's my line. Thank you guys for watching the end.
Stop bowing. Oh my God. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I really hope you enjoyed that. And by the way, because I know it's probably going to be the first question that you all ask, if you want to know how we got 100 people onto a sales call in 3 months, And that's with figuring out this process so you can do it much quicker. If you want to know that strategy, the templates, processes, then so you can do it for yourself or the company that you market for, we've put in a link there. It's totally free. You can just go get it, because we want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to go do this for yourselves. And remember, you don't have to call 100 people, but even just calling a few people is going to help you immensely. So I really, really urge you to do that. Thank you so much. We're here for a few questions. And Joe, I hope that was good.
Bloody fabulous, mate. I'm gonna pick out some comments from the community because they just love you. We've got Louise saying you two are brilliant. Angela saying absolutely brilliant. We've got Karen who says brilliant. Repetition on brilliant. So I think that's the word of the day so far.
I appreciate that.
Honestly, there's a lot of love being thrown your way. Folks, there's 23 open questions right now, which we definitely won't have time for. So if you give a thumbs up to the questions that you like in the Q&A, make sure to pick out the ones from the bottom as well. In the meantime, Andrew, Pete, could you, I know that you've got another slide speaking quickly about Atomicon. So while folks are going into the Q&A, would you like to speak about Atomicon very quickly?
Yeah, like while you're all deciding on the questions, Joe mentioned at the beginning, we do host one of Europe's largest business and marketing events. It's called Atomicon. It's happening June the 13th in Newcastle upon Tyne. It's a positively lovely city with lots of friendly people. The event is full of world-leading experts, speakers, salespeople, amazing, incredible entrepreneurs. We've got Joe Wicks, the body coach, speaking, Rachel Rogers from We Should All Be Millionaires. We've got us doing a talk. We've got Robin Kennedy, email marketing heroes, and a ton more incredible speakers. And it's going to blow your socks off. If you enjoyed what you learned today, you're going to get even more practical, actionable, entertaining talks and tips, takeaways, connections, inspiration to help you go and smash your business goals or your marketing goals. There's a marketing track for marketers, and there's a business leaders track for entrepreneurs. And it's going to be like the best thing since sliced bread. We'd love you all to come. And we've got a positively lovely deal that if you go to Atomicon-deal, you can save. If you go there, there's a 20% off coupon that you can go and grab. For if you want to come, go check it out. Joe, I know that you're going to be doing a meetup the day before, so you can get to meet up with loads of cool people, including Joe and some other of the marketing meetup, and also us as well. So we'd love to see you there. It's going to give you incredible tips and advice and strategies that you can go away, implement to double your income immediately. And we know that because we've taken some of the advice from these people and it's immensely helped us. That's why we've got them to speak. And it's going to absolutely blow you away.
Yes, we flying speakers from all around the world into Newcastle upon Tyne. We would obviously love to see you in Newcastle. If you can't make it to Newcastle, we also do go all out on the virtual experience. Yeah. This year, we're having a whole like metaverse built as a conference center. So you're going to be able to walk around virtually, go to all the different sessions. You're going to be able to network virtually online in a metaverse. So like if you do want to attend virtually, then you don't miss out on like those serendipitous moments of like meeting people and networking and bumping into the speakers. We go all out on the virtual experience, and there's a 20% off both of those at atomic.site/Atomicon-deal.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you, chaps. We'll pop that in the follow-up email as well. So folks have it available to them. Wicked. Let's take some questions. Like, you did such a good job today, so thank you both.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Not at all. And Pete, you were right. You were right about the first question that people were going to ask. So we've got the top one here from Dominic, which is, well, it's a version of the question that you said that people would ask, which is, where were the people you called in your funnel? I.e., were they already sort of warmish leads? I guess, the question is like, were they cold, sales, or were they a little bit further along?
So if you were to go download that 100 calls piece there that we just showed up on screen a moment ago, it'll give you like all the details to all the questions you want to know about this, and like the wording we used and how we reached out, the exact emails, the process, how we scaled that process as well, because it's effort to reach out to people to get them on a call.
Mhm.
So how you can build in a team to go and do the hard work for you, so you only have to do the calls. And also at some point, if you want to scale that up more, you can have someone do those sales calls as well for you. So I just want to point all that out.
Mhm.
But to answer that question specifically, it's one of those things whereby the hotter the lead, the easier it is to get them on a call. So the bigger your audience, obviously the better, but we will talk to you in that download about colder people as well.
Mhm.
People that you don't know as well, that aren't on your email list or don't really follow you, or they might have just followed you or whatever. So the way we did it was we reached out to people that were hottest first, because they're the easiest people to get. And you can literally do an email like, hey, do you want to hop on a call? And then they might just go for that at that point, right? That depends on your audience, how you've nurtured them. So to answer the question is, like, we start with the hottest, we go to warmer, then we go to colder, and then cold, essentially.
Nice. I love that. And I love the implication there that there's different approaches for each as well. I mean, by definition, you know, that's the funnel-based approach anyway, you know, but I think that bears pointing out, because like a 3-word email is going to be appropriate for those warmest folks. I love that. So
yeah, you know what's funny? Like, it kind of goes back to the point of this talk as well. With the colder people, we had to go slower. Like the warmer people, it was like, hey, do you want to hop on a call, chat about this? Yes, please. Would love to talk.
Yeah.
Colder people takes a few more emails, a few more back and forth to get them on the call.
Like, for example, one of the things that we did was we estimated how many emails it took before we could ask them about a call.
Okay.
People are hesitant to get on a call, right? So we would say things like the first email, like it was a really nice outreach email that was pure value, and we wanted to help them. And the whole point is to get a response.
Mm-hmm.
Got a response. Can we ask for the call yet? No.
Yeah.
Then they respond to us. We reply back, and then, can we ask for the call yet? No. Another response. Boom. Now we get it, right? And then we can ask for a call. So there is a bit of a process. Yeah, there is a process to it.
How do you in the example you just gave there, and I appreciate it's only an example, but you know, it doesn't speak to all of it, but like emails 1 and 2 in that sequence, I'd be scared about, you know, like, yeah, I guess scared is the right language, about like sort of feeling like I'm almost wasting someone's time. So there's like a question in here, which is like, how do you make a phone call and sort of do the first 5 minutes when you kind of know that the end of the call is someone wanting, you know, you to buy something?
Yeah.
So how do you approach the thing? You know?
So this is a really great question, because that's probably an objection that hold people back. And you know what? The nicer you are, the less proactive you are sometimes when it comes to sales, because you don't want to be pushy.
Yeah.
And you almost want to think about it the other way around. Like, you almost like, if that person is the right person, so there's a qualifying validation process to this before you reach out. But if you think that person's perfect for your service and you genuinely think you can help them, it's almost like your duty to help them. Yeah. Right? Because sales is like an exchange of value. Yes, they pay you, but you also help them. Let's not forget, right? You get them a return or an outcome or a transformation that they want. So we're actually helping people. So the more proactive we are, not pushy, but proactive, then the more people we get to help and impact in the world, right? So when you reach out to people, you're being proactive. You're getting them into a conversation. At any point, they don't have to continue that. And the way we like to do it is with value. So yeah, you are helping them along the way. It's not like you're just not helping them and just being 100% salesy. We're not advocates of like big pushy sales.
Or like making people feel bad about themselves.
No, at all.
Buy the thing. Like
we hate that.
No, unethical.
And then when you're on the actual call, the call isn't like, hey, nice to meet you, like buy this thing, right? It's not like that. So again, we'll talk through that. I think that's in the download as well, like what to actually say in the call. If it's not, reach out to us and let us know. And we can give you more information on that. Or if you get stuck, please don't hesitate to email us, guys. We want to help you with this because it really, really does work. So on the call as well, you will also validate and ask permission to sell. So it's like, hey, Joe, like from what you just said, from the conversation we've been having, and I've been listening and maybe even giving value to you from that conversation, I feel like I could help you even more. Would you like to hear a little bit more about how I could do that and the services I have? And they can say no, they can say yes, and it's they've given you permission to sell to them essentially, or to talk more about it. And again, you can't force anyone to do anything. You can tell them about your thing, and if they want it, great.
Yeah.
So that's the way we'd go about it.
That's fabulous. Thank you. I really appreciate that, because I think that would take a lot of the anxiety away from people on this.
Yeah.
And actually, to that point, then, like, quite a lot of the chat was about like, oh, I'd never have the confidence to sort of pick up the phone. Like, you made a comment in the talk about like, you can actually pick up the phone, like, and it's a scary thing for some.
Oh, Joe, right. We challenged ourselves to do the 100 calls.
Yeah.
I was absolutely bricking it. I was terrified. Like every single day, Andrew had to like big me up to do the calls.
Nice.
This was kind of like before Zoom was a thing. This was years ago, by the way. Like this is before Zoom was a thing. So we wouldn't like hop on a call and do a Zoom. It was an actual phone call. And probably these days I would probably do a Zoom, if I'm honest. But phone calls equally just as good.
Yeah.
And I would like almost be vomiting in my mouth before the call, genuinely. But after a few minutes in, like you ease down, you find out you're talking to someone really nice, like, and then you kind of like, you get to know someone a bit and you start to get on, and then you ease down even more. And by the end of the call, you kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then once it's like, if you get the sale, then bloody hell, you're on a massive high, right? Mm-hmm. And we're talking about as well, can I say, like 100 calls for a low price ticket membership. If you have a higher ticket item, maybe you sell something that's like a $2,000 a month service, right? A retainer model. Like how many calls do you actually need to do to get a few yeses? It's like 5 to 10, maybe. That's not a lot of time before you're at capacity yourself. If you work for a bigger company, like it's awesome, right? Because you can keep doing this.
If you are really nervous about it and you want to kind of like ease yourself into just like having calls, we've done this with a few of our one-to-one clients, and what we've told them to do is just like approach it as a like, forget the sales part of it just for a second, and like just approach it as like a fact-finding like research mission first, because a lot of people haven't done that, and like they're trying to sell something that they've just guessed. Like they've guessed what the pain is, they've guessed like what they need to write on the sales page, and like by just having these like, hey, can I just chat to you about this? Potentially, if you're feeling good on the phone call, you can go into the sales at the end. But like if you're just hearing from someone like what they like, what they don't like, what's holding them back, like what price they would pay for it, like what would like get them to say yes, like now on the call, like those kind of things, but not going into the sale, we're still going to learn a bunch of stuff.
I love that. Thank you very much. It's so useful. Again, it's anxiety relieving, because I love, by the way, that you picked up on confidence as like a really important theme of your talk. I think that's so important. And
it's like, that's the biggest thing we found, like that holds marketers back. It's not the hacks that are going to get you like better results. It's like having more confidence and belief in yourself and your products.
Absolutely, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I really couldn't. I think you've probably answered Joe Cook's question with your answer there, because Joe said, what if you've only got between 10 or 20 people you can phone, and hopefully that's useful. In fact, Joe has confirmed in the chat right there. So I love that.
Definitely reach out to them, and then you can start to build more relationships and reach out to people that are following you. Like if you've got a social profile, and it's just a case of building it up. But even start small, start small. You don't have to do 100 in 3 months.
No, one of our clients found someone that had an audience, did a masterclass very similar to like this, and then like offered free calls at the end. They weren't like pitched as sales calls. They were pitched as like, hey, can I help you? Do you want to like chat more about like this topic that we've just covered? And like got more calls there. And I think if you are just starting out and you don't have an audience, like doing things like that can be helpful.
100%. That's awesome. Good for you. Like, that's such a useful tip. Thank you. There's been a few chat comments coming through where people have just said, like, this is gold, and Emily's just said in the chat here, oh, that's a great tip. Thank you. So like, so let's take the next one from it's from Anonymous, and then we'll go back up to the top one from Jessica. Because one of the questions that the community has liked is how do you know who to call? So you've sort of spoken about, like, when you get on, you're like, oh yeah, these people are nailed on perfect for what we offer, so we can be so helpful, we can eventually get to sales if that feels right. But even sort of going, oh shoot, you know, like, I need to sell to someone in Salesforce and there's about 1,000, you know, managers or whatever it may be, you know, how do you know who to call?
In terms of like specifically who to call and how to find their information.
Yeah.
It's like, I think generally when we start doing this, we should try to go like a little bit broader and just try to call either like past customers or people that have shown interest or people that we've sent proposals to and they haven't converted. Or if we're selling like products, like, is there a way that we can like have like an exit intent pop-up or just like something like that? There's like tons of ways. If we're looking for like specific people to call, then we do need to go slow. So we need to like really work out like who are the people, who are the decision makers, try to find the information. So like LinkedIn is probably like the best place that you're going to find that, like, who is the decision maker in that? Can we connect with them? Can we start engaging with their content? Can we follow them? Can we then send the connection request and then go in a bit much more slower if we're looking for specific people? Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah. And if you kind of think as well from like going from the hottest to the coldest, if you do have, even if it's a small email list, you can do this retrospectively, or you can do it like today onwards. Look back at who's clicking on your sales pages and your offers. So if we go, hey, everybody, you should join our membership. Well, hey, everybody, like, you should check out Atomicon. It's going to be the best event you've ever been to. It's going to blow your mind, right? Click here to read more and buy your ticket. Okay, let's say 2 people click on that, right? If you've got a small audience, right? Those 2 people have essentially raised their hand to say, I'm interested. This sounds intriguing to me. I'm a potential customer and I'm going to check it out. Now, if they don't buy, like, boom, you've got 2 people that you should really, really be reaching out to and following up with. Now, email automations can do that automatically, but you can do that personally. You could literally use a tool called Vidyard, and you could go to them and send them a video and embed a video, like 30-second video in there, and go, hey, Joe, I noticed you clicked on the link to go check out Atomicon. I don't know how serious you were about it, but if you wanted to find out a bit more, I'd love to hop on a call and talk to you about it. Or if you've got any questions, I've got some time this week. So why don't you just hit me back with an email and I'll fire you back some like answers to any questions you might have that holding you back about the event. By the way, I actually went and checked out your website and you look like the perfect person for this event. Like, you're exactly who this is for. We know it's going to be inspiring. You're going to meet some great people. And I would like to hang out with you there because you seem pretty cool. Anyway, that's all for me. I'm Pete. I'll see you soon. I look forward to hitting.
And it's all real. It's like none of that's faked. Like, if it's like the wrong person and Pete's like bullshitting, then like, sure, like, yeah, come at him. But like, if it's real, if it's like the real, if it's like he really thinks like this is the perfect person to like join Atomic or come to Atomicon or buy a product, and all he wants is a call, it's like there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with reaching out and offering it to him. And just to quickly pull up on another point there, like, we have this whole other talk and kind of thought process around hand raiser content. So we are constantly trying to get people in our audience, whether that's like on LinkedIn or Instagram or on our email list. We are very pro email, to be honest, but you can do this on any social platform, to raise their hand and like tell us in some way that they're interested, whether they're hitting reply, whether they're commenting on something, whether they're clicking the link, and we're like just tracking that across all of our platforms.
We call it hand raiser content. It's like patent pending, but one day we'll get it. But it's like our idea, and essentially it's you have like a link trigger, which creates the hand raiser. And the whole point is to identify that when people access or click on that trigger or download something or go to a certain web page, it identifies either that they are the perfect client or potential client for you. It identifies that they have a pain point that you can solve with your products, or that you might be interested in buying at some point.
Nice.
So that gives us some amazing feedback so that we can go back and follow those people, either with more emails or a personal outreach or whatever it is. So we're constantly doing that. For example, it's like, hey, we've just wrote a blog about everything you need to know about sales calls, how long they are, like what you should say in them, the 4 questions you need to ask, how to handle objections, everything you need to know about sales calls. Like, click here to read more. Now we know that that person is interested in doing that because they've got a sales call coming up at some point. Now what we know about that person is that they're interested in getting more sales and they're doing sales calls. So we could go back and say, hey, if you're interested in learning more about sales calls, we've got an incredible talk at Atomicon all about how to get more people onto a sales call.
Nice.
And it's going to blow you away because it uses this XYZ strategy that we've seen in action. Like, go check out tickets here.
I love it. I love it. But it's doing the work.
Constantly doing that.
You do the work, going slow to go fast, it's proper, so thank you for sharing that. It's insanely useful. I'm mindful that we've gone past our requisite hour, so we're now in overtime, but I just want to say thank you. Like, so useful, like for small to big businesses. I love the fact you've spoken about ethical sales, the fact that you've identified confidence as part of the journey, that you've given some practical advice today, and also, just the general vibes have been immaculate. So thank you very much.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you, Joel, for having us. If anyone does have like a burning question that we didn't get to, email us or Instagram DM us and we will get back to you.
That's incredible. Thank you very much. That's so good, and very generous of you as well. I know you're busy. I know you're very busy, chaps, but very lovely as well.
No, of
With all
course.
that said, thank you everyone for taking the time today. It's so lovely to be back, and with a really great time, really great start to the season. Hope to see you again next week for a fabulous session on TikTok. And yeah, do take the time to check out Atomicon as well, and also thank our sponsors this week, Storyblock in particular. With all that said, have a cracking week, everyone. It's so lovely to spend the time, and see you soon. Take care,
everybody. Thanks so much.